And we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is Saturday. It is getting close to the 4th of July. Hopefully, everybody is having a fun and safe weekend. It is downpouring right here in sunny, or usually sunny, Florida, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. It's going to be a beautiful weekend regardless, and I hope you have fun no matter what you do, but no matter what you do, please be safe doing it. All right, speaking of the video I made yesterday, which I didn't do in this video, which makes no sense, but I was talking about how some of my PGX books were arriving. They actually got here last night, but I was a little too busy to make a video, so I'm doing that now. I'm hoping it didn't get damaged because I actually put it in my storage room, the box, and I heard a thump in the middle of the night, but I didn't know what it was, and I came in this morning and the box was on the ground, so I think I did not put it close enough. I stacked it on a couple of other boxes, and it fell over. So it didn't fall very far, so I doubt it got damaged, but let's hope not. But I got my 4 books back. I send in 4 books each and every month. I have a deal with PGX. I do not get paid by them, I am under no obligation to say anything other than sharing my experience. One of the things that benefits you guys is if you look in the description of this video or any video, if you want to try PGX out, and there's many good reasons why you should give them a try. If you send 10 books or more in and you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you will get one of your books pressed for free. And if you want to use the code We Love Comics Graders Notes, for $5 per book, if you want, you can have the Graders Notes placed directly on the back of the slab, which I do all the time. I absolutely love that. Wish more grading companies would do it. I feel, in my opinion, when it's out there, it makes them more accountable for what's wrong with the book. And if you're thinking of selling a comic, it's right there for people to see. So, you know, if you have a book graded and a grading company doesn't give you Graders Notes at all, and that does happen even with the big ones. If you're trying to sell it, how is somebody going to know what's wrong with it? You know, there could be page number 32 has a fold in it or a writing on it. So they put it on the back of the slab if you want it. Of course, it's free if you want them, just email it to you. But I like doing that, so check out those links in the description, and let's get this going. And I also have... they're shipping out my other set of books because they had a little bit of a delay, which happens from time to time. But even with their delay, I'm still getting these back months faster than if I was to send them to the other major companies. It basically took about a month and a half to get these back, which in the grand scheme of things is not bad because I do not pay for expedited shipping. So it's sent the regular way. I don't get special privileges with Speedy or grading service. So to get them back within 90 days, and that's their delay, I'm not going to complain about it at all. So with that being said, excuse me, let's put on the video camera so you could see the unboxing. I got 11 people here. Welcome. 5 of you already hit the like button. Thank you so much for that. I already see people in the live chat. Participate in the live chat because I always do a surprise subscriber shout out, which basically doesn't mean much these days because about 20 people will watch my videos. But the 20 that are watching, I really appreciate. So welcome to all that are here. So here is the box. It is not open yet. You can see it's a little dented a little bit. That didn't happen in shipping. Like I said, I placed this on one of my comic boxes, and I guess I didn't put it square enough, and it fell over in the middle of the night. So if there's damage, it's not because PGX did it. It's because I did not put the box in and protected it. But I doubt it, because like I said, it dropped maybe 3 feet onto carpet. And I've never had comics ever arrive damaged. So as you can see, it's not opened. I never open them. I don't know the grades. I don't like to know the grades. I like to do this live. I've been doing this now going on 4 years, every month for 4 years. And I don't use them anyway, but I just cut through, just to show, I just cut through the bags. And speaking of which, they actually use different bags now. These are the clearer Mylar bags that they're using instead of those ones that I really never liked, where they were kind of like 3/4 of the way up. But they've changed the bags, which I'm happy about. So a little improvement there. So let's do this. I want to make sure I get the back of the slab. There we go. because I don't want to see the grades. And it looks like there's no damage to the comics, which I'm very happy about. And then we'll tell you the significance of the books, what I paid for them, which always includes shipping. I don't understand how people can say that they paid such and such for a book, but they forget to mention that they spent money on, not only the shipping costs, but if you're buying on eBay these days, you have to pay taxes. So that is a factor in the cost. So if you spent $100 for the book, and they charged you, let's just even it out, let's say they charged you $10 in taxes and $10 in shipping, you didn't spend $100 on the book, you spent $120. So when I tell you what I paid for a comic, it's based on all of the fees in total. That's why most people not only do not run their own businesses, but that's why they always tend to fail, because you have to know the difference between net and gross. And if you don't know that, please do not start your own business, because you're going to end up saying, oh, look at all this money I made. But you're not factoring in the expenses and all the additional costs, which will take away from your profit margin. And you're going to end up losing money and going out of business quick. All right, so they wrap this good like they always do. They put the blue cellophane. They put the bubble wrap. So everything is in. I don't know which set of the 4 they are. I would assume they went in order of when I sent them, but you never know. I'll be happy with regardless. So let's put this over here. I will share my predictions. Now, like I always say, my predictions are based on what I think they're going to be after a pressing and dry cleaning. So you never know what's going to be the end result because of that. And I see I hit into the screen, so it's frozen. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Glad I noticed it. Yeah, people are starting to know the deal. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the cord on my camera is so sensitive that if you sneeze in its direction, it will freeze. So right now you're seeing me like what a person, if you ever watched The Little Rascals or Home Alone, that's kind of like what the guy from Home Alone would look like if he was 95 years old and still making movies. All right, so we got the camera moving again, so thank you for pointing that out. I wanted to make sure I gave a still image, for my fans. All right, so let's get into it. Let's see which 4 books these are. I'll give you any significance. Of course, there will always be, because I always send key books in. The price I paid, what my prediction was, and what the end result is, and we find that together live. All right, so the first book. All right, we're starting with the big boy. All right, so this is actually not the first set that I sent in. This is actually the second set. So they actually sent in the one I sent last month as opposed to the one from 2 months ago, which means the one that they're sending on Monday will be that one. All right, so that's fine. Doesn't matter to me as long as they arrive safely, and they always have in 4 years. I've never had anything lost or damaged. Knock on wood. All right, so we're starting with the big boy. This is Ultimate Fallout 4. I've been telling people for years to get this book. This is the first print. This is a bagged issue. All of them I bought were in the original bag that it came in. The problem with that is it always keeps damage. It makes damage on the back of the book because there's that folded part in the bag that you basically have to pull apart to tear open, and that could cause stress lines. So it's very hard to get a 9.8. As a matter of fact, of all the books I've sent in, only one came back a 9.8, but there's always potential. I paid $10 for this book because I bought all of them between $10 and $12, and every single one I've shown so far I said $12, so we're just calling this one a $10 one. I predicted this one to be between a 9.0 to a 9.8. I do a wider variety on this one because of the fact of the bag potentially causing damage. And a lot of times, if there's color break increase, there's nothing you can do about it. But let's see. So I paid $10, so it doesn't matter. This could come back a 0.5 and I'll make money, but it's not going to have that. 9.0 to 9.8. White pages, we're starting out with. All right, so a 9.4, which is perfectly fine for me. That's right in the middle with white pages, which was to be expected with a newer book. It does have greatest notes, as you can see, and I will always read these out. So definitely, there's the address to try out PGX. It's pgxcomics.com. And they put the greatest notes right in the middle. So it says several stress lines along the spine. Like I said, when it's in that bag, especially when you have it for years and stuff, it could rub against the edges and everything like that. So, I mean, I have one of them in 9.8, and considering the price I paid for them, I'm really happy overall because I want a fair grade. I wouldn't want this in 9.8 if it wasn't one. So, 9.4, spent $10. I'll take that. And that's why I like to do this live also. Omega says, all the comics you spec on years ago are hitting. Yep, I've been trying to tell people that for years, and it's funny. People used to laugh at me and say I was making stuff up, and you know, I had people that were in the industry that were giving me inside information. I was getting information about stuff that still hasn't even happened yet that they've already talked about to happen. Like the Fantastic Four. Also, you know, the Acts of Vengeance. Things like that. Ghost Rider and appearing in the MCU and stuff like that. I was talking about that stuff in 2016, 2017. And I remember people used to make fun of me and laugh at me and say I'm just trying to do it to make videos. And I'm right time and time again. So as they say, he who laughs last laughs best. So I'm glad to see those of you who paid attention to what I was sharing. You know, I didn't sell my information. I didn't write books. I didn't make you have to join my PayPal or a Patreon to get inside information. I gave it out freely. And I guess it's true. Like a lot of people say that if you have to pay for some advice, people will take that more seriously than somebody that's offering it for free. So the ones that listened, I'm sure they're very happy with a lot of the comics that they bought years ago, as opposed to people who said, oh, this person doesn't know what they're doing because I don't have a green screen, I don't have special effects, I don't have $5,000 camera equipment and lighting. Just a regular guy that wanted to share information to help you, because I do not get anything from you succeeding. But I wanted to share it because, you know, if the world did that, it'd be a much better place. All right, so let's get into the next one before I get into another one of my 5-hour tangents. This, of course, is Secret Wars. This is issue number 1. Now, this one is a newsstand variant. This is a series. I think it's 12 comics in the series, the original series. You really got to get them. But, of course, number 1 is definitely getting the one you have to get. The ultimate one, of course, is number 8. But also number 3, we'll see what happens when it comes to the She-Hulk series. The way that Disney's been going lately, I don't have a lot of high expectations for it, unfortunately. But number 3 is the first new Titania, and one other, I think, Volcano or some kind of Vulcan thing. But in order, number 8, number 1, number 3, and then the rest just to fill in. These are books you definitely want to get because they are going to be doing a Secret Wars. Again, I've been telling people for years. I paid a grand total of $98.98 for this book. Again, I gave it between a 9.0 and a 9.8 because it did have some pressable defects. But just because it's a pressable defect does not guarantee it's going to get everything. But this is absolutely a book that you should be getting right now. It's getting more and more expensive, but it ain't going to get cheaper anytime soon. So I said, of course, with white pages. Let's see what we got on this one. All right, another 9.4, which again, I'm very happy about. Now, there are people out there that don't see the benefit of a newsstand over the regular variant. Rarity does not always indicate value. I mean, you could say you have the largest pile of dog poop, and no one else could have a dog poop size that big, which would make it rare, doesn't make it valuable. But higher grade, like I'm talking 9.2 and up of newsstand variants, are harder to get because they were put, like for example, a regular comic will be in a comic store. They're going to put them in bags and boards. They're going to put them on shelves. Most of the time, they're putting them, you know, with care. So there's more likely a chance to get a 9.8 with those. Newsstand variants, they were in places like bookstores and 7-Elevens where they had those rotated little metal things that they threw them in, and they'd always bend over and flop over, and people would look at them while they were, you know, drinking their big gulps and get like liquid all over them. So these are not always necessarily rarer, but they're harder to get in high grade, and that's what makes them desirable. So the way you can tell, and I have a video about it, but the way you can tell is there's a barcode. Usually there'll be like a picture of Spider-Man or another kind of image. Those are the ones that come from the comic book stores. The newsstands are the ones that are in bookstores or 7-Elevens and places like that. It makes it a lot harder to get them in higher grade. So for this price, considering where this is going, and this is also, by the way, as it says right there, newsstand, and it's also the error edition. This is the printing error, and they wrote it on here. Printing error, Galactus printed in blue and white in multiple story panels. So this is not only the newsstand variant, but it's also the printing error. So again, it doesn't always necessarily mean that's rarer, but in higher grade, it's harder to get. So what you collect is up to you. I share my benefit of knowing about comics. I'd like to think I have a pretty decent track record. As you can see, the comics that I keep getting and the prices I pay for them, these are the things you should be looking out for. So 9.4 for that price. And again, I don't base it on what the value is now, because somebody could say, I don't know what the value of this book is now. And somebody could say, oh, well, it's only worth $100. You didn't make anything. Well, I'm not selling it today. I'm waiting for the movie to come out, and you know what's going to happen once Secret Wars ends up happening. And nothing is guaranteed until it happens, but I would say it's a 99% chance that Secret Wars is eventually going to be one of the big movies coming out in the phases, probably Phase 5 or maybe even Phase 6. But that's when the value will go up. So when you're investing, don't base it on where something's been. Don't base anything on where it is unless you can find a deal or you think it's reached a low point. Base it on where it's going. So, again, I'm going to be very happy with that in the long run. All right, so 2 more to go. Next one. This is, and again, this is one of the reasons why I use PGX. I sent this in a month and a half ago. Oh, no, this was from last month. So I sent this in last month. This is What If number 10, which is the first technical appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. This is not canon because it's a What If series. Oh, and Q-Ball just did a super chat. That's probably the first super chat I've gotten in probably this year. So thank you. Let me read that really quick. If somebody's going to be kind enough to do a super chat, I want to make sure I read it. So thank you for Q-Ball. That was a nice surprise. Q-Ball says, I kind of lost faith in Disney. I can understand that as well. Considering what they did to Star Wars, absolutely agree. If you've been watching my channel, you know what I feel about that. I grew up watching, I saw the original Star Wars in 1977 in the movie theater at 6 years old. So, Star Wars, Luke Skywalker was my hero. And what they did to him is just sad. And they can't really redo it because, you know, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, is no longer on this planet. So they, for the SJW purposes, they ruined a lot of stuff. I tried to watch Miss Marvel. I sat through about a quarter of an episode before I shut it off. I watched 2 episodes of the Ben Kenobi before I shut it off. So I cannot agree with you anymore about that. But he also says, and how it seems to be going down with newer releases, looking for new alternatives of entertainment. I can understand that. But remember, those are the TV shows, and there's a reason why they made them TV shows. Because if they really believed in, for example, Miss Marvel and that character, if they really believed in her, they would have gave her a movie. That's Disney's way of saying, well, we're going to do the agenda, but we know it's not going to make money, so we're not going to spend millions and millions of dollars to make a flop movie, but we could put it on a TV show and just, you know, make up excuses. So I wouldn't worry about the comic book industry as a whole. I've seen videos since 2016 when I got back into comic collecting of people saying, oh yeah, this is it, this is the comic crash. Marvel is going to be putting out movies for the next 20 years. There is no end in sight as far as I'm concerned unless there's, you know, some major catastrophe in the world. I don't see the way they're going in movies that's going to hurt the comic book industry. The TV shows, they're doing a minor bit of damage, but it's not enough because the movies are still going to be powerful. I guarantee you, when Deadpool 3 comes out, people are going to flock to the movie theaters for that movie. They're not going to make Deadpool into a TV show. They put the TV shows in the ones that they know aren't going to work. They can say whatever they want and spin it however they want. Some of them are tryouts, or some have been successful. Like, for example, a Daredevil TV show. They're going to start out, in my opinion, with a Daredevil TV show because it worked. And they know they can make money off of that. And that would get people to maybe sign up for Disney+. I have a Disney Plus subscription. It's about to expire this month. I will not be renewing it because I'm not going to give them my money for what they're spewing out. So I cannot disagree with you, but don't lose faith in it. Disney is, they're a company after all, and you can only lose so much money before even the wokest person loses their job and they have to go in another route. But it's the movies that you have to focus on, not the TV shows. The TV shows are an afterthought. I guarantee you, without being in any of the board meetings, that the reason that they put some of these shows as shows and not movies is because they knew it wasn't going to be successful. And they even admitted that with the Ben Kenobi TV show, because that was supposed to be a movie. But because the Solo series movie did so badly, which I've never seen, they were scared to do another movie, so they made it into a TV show. So that proves my point. But don't let the TV shows discourage you. I can understand the frustration. Trust me, as a longtime Marvel fan and superhero fan, I really don't like what they're doing. I mean, if you want to have a female character, at least make them interesting. At least have a thing called character development. One of the things I loved about Luke Skywalker is in the beginning of his movie trilogy, he was whiny, he complained, he was unconfident, he was unsure of himself, he had doubts, he would complain. Like what a normal person would do. Like, this is too difficult, I can't do it, or there's no way, or I don't believe in that stuff. But over time, through experience and through wisdom and through teaching, he became more and more confident until he became the Jedi who was able to defeat Darth Vader. It's called character development. When you have a character that starts out, I'm super strong, I'm super powerful, I can do everything, well, there's nowhere for that character to go. It makes them not interesting. One of the reasons why so many people are against superheroes like Superman is because in the beginning they made him so powerful, or at a certain point, they made him so powerful that it wasn't interesting anymore. And you can only use the kryptonite thing so many times as a way to defeat him. So they had to kind of change the powers. I mean, originally, if you know anything about the history of Superman, he was not able to fly in the beginning. That's why they said able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. He did not fly. But eventually they got him so powerful that a nuclear warhead could hit him right in the throat or right in the eyeball and it wouldn't even tickle him. So you have to have character development. And these new TV shows and these heroes that they're trying to bring out, they're just cocky. They're arrogant. They seem to know everything. Like, when I shut off I'm sorry for the tangent, but this actually, I'm sure many people will agree whether they admit it publicly or not. When I was watching trying to watch the Miss Marvel episode 1, when she's in the, I shut it off right after the driver's test. So it shows how early it was before I shut it off because I couldn't watch it anymore. That she becomes arrogant. She's about to try and get her driver's license. I was a kid. I remember going to get my driver's license. I was nervous as all heck. I was afraid I was going to mess up. What does she do? Cool and confident, puts on her glasses and slams on the gas, which she ends up going in reverse, smashing into the driving instructor's car. And the parents are yelling at him saying, "Oh, you're going to blame her?" Like she's the victim for what she did. And when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I can't support this. Whether you do, if you like it, God bless you, Allah bless you, Cabbage Patch Kid bless you, whatever you worship. But, I mean, to me, if right in the middle of the beginning of a show, you're already trying to say this person can do no wrong. I mean, they started the beginning of it with her worshiping Miss Marvel. What did she do? Yes, she went through that one spaceship with Thanos' spaceship. But then she got knocked out of orbit when she tried to battle him. I like the Scarlet Witch. She's very powerful. I loved her interaction in Endgame. but they made Miss Marvel worship Captain Marvel, who really didn't do anything, and she was just arrogant. It's just like too much throwing it in your face, and that's just not for me. So Disney is going to end up finding out they're going to lose a lot of money. And when your business, and your business is based on making money, you can riot all you want, you can protest all you want, you can complain all you want. If you give them your money, it justifies what they're doing. So if you want to have change, real change, you don't need to be violent. You don't need to burn down buildings. You don't need to injure people. You don't need to hurt others. You don't need to take people's rights away or freedoms or rights to a choice. You just got to stop giving your money. So as of next month, I will not be renewing my Disney Plus because I'm not gonna give money to somebody that's putting out stuff that is just, if you don't like it, you're a racist and you're a homophobe and you're a sexist. That's not how businesses are run. So thank you, Cue Ball, for that $9.99 super chat to all the people that are watching and don't like these rants. You know, this is my channel. There's a reason why I only have 20 viewers or so, because those people are the ones who appreciate what I do and what I talk about, because I keep it real. I will never make a video just to make money. There are people that will say nothing about the travesties that are going on in the world because they don't want their channel to be damaged or their reputation, because they care more about the revenue that comes in than their integrity. My integrity means more. I mean, that, like I said, Cue Ball, that $9.99 super chat is the first super chat I've gotten this year. And on my Patreon, I think I make $6 a month. So it ain't about the money. For me, it's supposed to be about the passion. Many people are not going to agree because they want the special effects. They want all the fancy videos. They want to hear the things that make them feel good instead of the real solutions of change. You want to change, you have to first accept the fact that something needs to be changed. All right, enough of the rant. So let's get into this one. Sorry about the delay. I know many of you are going to sign off. And Cue Ball, thank you for that. And no, don't apologize. He sent another super chat. He says, sorry for the derailment. Don't apologize. You spoke your mind, and that's what I want here. How are you? Are you familiar with Eric July, Young Agrippa 59 here on YouTube? Never heard of him before, but I'll have to check him out. So, not familiar with it. You'll have to cue me in on that, which is interesting because your name is Cue Ball. But don't apologize. I like people that are honest. I guarantee you, many of the people that talk against this stuff in their videos because they're afraid to speak up, secretly behind closed doors, would probably agree with everything I've said. But they're too afraid to do it because they don't want to damage their ad revenue. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out because I don't know them personally and I would never do that. But I know there are many big YouTube channels, and I'm not just talking comic book industry, I'm talking all over YouTube, that they allow garbage to be spewed, whether it's government, politics, news, schools, freedoms, all that, and people are afraid to say what's really supposed to be on their mind, which is integrity, for money. I find it disgusting, but that's just my opinion. So please do not apologize. I appreciate you keeping it real, and I'm glad there are still people out there not afraid to speak out to what is disappointing. So don't apologize. All right, so I paid a total of $67 for this book. Again, it could be an 8.0 and I'll still do well. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I read the wrong one. This is What If 10. I paid $25, so I spent even less. I predicted about 9.0 to 9.4. This is definitely not a 9.8. It did have some minor stuff. Off-white to white pages. So you've been waiting about 30 minutes for this reveal. I hope it's worth it. All right, a 9.2. So what did I say? Between a 9.0 and a 9.4, so straight in the middle. So grading-wise, I'm usually pretty spot on with this. You know, I tend to be very close to what I predict the grades are. And I said, what did I say? Off-white to white. And I finally got it right as far as an older book, off-white to white. So it says multiple stress lines along the spine. But like it says, this is the first Jane Foster as Thor. Journey into Mystery 83 cover homage. But again, this is not canon because it's a what if. But still, it's the first time you see Lady Thor. And she's going to be in the next Thor Love and Thunder movie. So I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, let's see what happens. Fingers crossed they don't go to SJW. I think they don't do it as much. But even with that, Valkyrie. There's a scene where Valkyrie, I guess, she has a knife, and maybe she's in a battle or something. She goes and she licks it like a tough guy. Who does that? In any situation in a war that you've ever seen in any movie, how many guys have you ever seen, or girls, that when they did a battle scene or whatever, they licked their gun? I mean, they did that in Ghostbusters reboot, which I haven't seen, but obviously that was a clip they used to show all the time, where she licks the proton pack. What is that? It is the most ridiculous thing. Just imagine if you're watching a Rambo movie, and Rambo takes out his Bowie knife, and he stabs somebody, and then he goes and licks it. I mean, how dumb is that? This is what I'm talking about. For some reason, Hollywood makes that seem like that's badass. No, it's just ridiculous. But they're trying to make all the women turn into these badasses that can do everything. And like I said, my number one movie that I love that's not comic related is the second Alien film, Aliens. And who was the leading role in that? Sigourney Weaver. The best portrayal in the history of movies, in my opinion. I saw that in the movie theater the day it came out. I remember from the beginning of that movie to the end, the crowd was going wild. It was like literally being on a roller coaster. So I don't have a problem with women being lead roles. But she was scared. She had doubts. There were times she was actually in trouble. And you actually, in the last battle scene where she fights the Queen Alien, you feel nervous and you feel the tension. These movies now, every woman can just bench press 5 million tons, can do no wrong, can speak 500 different languages, and could be the best thing in the world. How do you relate to somebody like that? And then you're going to, whatever battle scene, you take your weapon and you lick it? Okay, realistically, and I wouldn't recommend it, licking a blade might cut your tongue off. Probably not a wise thing to do from somebody pretending to be badass. I just don't like that stuff. It takes away from the movie. And when you're watching a movie, you're supposed to want to be entertained. You don't want to be told you're a sexist or a racist. You don't want a political agenda thrown down your throat. You don't want to every 5 minutes have to justify, well, that scene happened because it's this, this, and this. You just want to watch the movie because the world is so crazy. You want to get an escape. That's why when I was a kid, I never liked horror movies. Because if I wanted to watch death, I could put on the news. I used to love things like Star Wars. Loved things like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Loved even movies like Ice Pirates. Many of you will probably never even know what that is. It's a ridiculous B-rated B movie that is just ridiculous. But I like comedies and stuff because I wanted to escape and be somewhere that I couldn't be. Murders and executions and deaths and stuff like that you see on the news all the time. So for me, this stuff, it's just ridiculous. And I guarantee you, many people agree. Just many people are afraid to stand up. And that's why things don't change. So I will never change when it comes to this. If you watch my channel, from day one of my first video till now, I am consistent. I don't care about their ad revenue. Could I benefit from the money? Hell yeah. I've bought 2 comics in the past year. Because I don't have the funds to be able to do it. And I'm not out begging for money or making people have to join my Patreon program. Which, by the way, I even do have a Patreon. But I don't even talk about it. Because it's not about the money. So anyway, alright. Did I reveal the grade? Oh, yes I did. This is the next one. This is the one where I paid $67 for it. This is Thor Annual 1. Which, again, I sent in a month ago. And this is the first appearance of Hercules. Let me just double check. I don't want to see the grade. So, I believe this is the first appearance of Hercules. I don't know if it's Zeus or not, but somebody smarter than me in the live chat or in the regular chat will mention in the comments section. But this is another book to get, and if you're just sending it in to CGC or CBCS, even spending extra money to get it returned, you're going to get it way after the movie is out, and then you're not going to be able to sell it for top dollar. So this is a low-grade book. I've said all the time, low grade is better than no grade. I said it's about a 2.0 to a 2.5 because it does have a lot of damage along the spine. But again, for $67.70, I'm sure I will do fine even if that's the case. So let's get this last one so you guys can all get out of here if 90% of you haven't done so already. 4.0. All right, you know what? Let me look at this. All right. This is the major damage. So I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought. There is a split right here. But it only goes from here to here. And the back, the pressing, because I'm looking at the back of the book while I'm reading what I said the grade was, and I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be higher than a 2.0. So they did not write on here that this is the first appearance of Hercules. So either I'm wrong or they didn't put that. Which, if they didn't put that, that is a bad job. So like I said, I'm going to speak my mind. So if this is the first appearance of Hercules and they didn't put that in here, that's not a good job. So I will call them out when they make a mistake. But I could be wrong. Now, I did say that this has off-white pages. It has off-white to white. So this book actually is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And again, this is why I tell people, get your books pressed and dry cleaned. So the major part of this, honestly, I don't know why I gave it such a low grade. Because it does have right here a splitting, but it's only this far. So it's not like it's the whole book. So let's read, because there's a couple of graders notes which would be expected for a lower grade book. But it says, multiple stress lines along the spine. It's a thicker book. An annual tended to be a lot thicker. So that's going to happen. Excuse me. A moderate cover, edge, and spine wear. And here it is, a 2-inch spine split at bottom of only front cover. So I actually got this wrong. And I'm glad. And it's a lot better than what I thought, because it definitely needed a pressing. That's why I gave it such a low grade. But the damage isn't as bad as I originally thought, because you could see the cover. There's no pieces missing. The colors look really good. So I was just wrong on the grading on this one. I like to grade my books a little bit like lower grade, because if I'm going to be wrong, I'd rather it be wrong and higher than wrong and end up being lower, because, you know, that's always disappointing. But as you can see, there's no missing coupons. It's not ripped to shreds and everything. So I definitely did a bad job on this one grading it. So definitely 4.0. Very happy with. And I cannot disagree with that. And this is why I tell people all the time, get your comics no matter who you send them to. Get them pressed and dry cleaned, because in the end, it's all worth it. So no 9.8s, nothing I'm going to retire off of. But hey, for the prices I paid for them, I should be doing pretty decent. So we have Journey into Mystery, #1, annual #1. Supposedly the first appearance of Hercules. Let me know in the comments section. Then we have What If #10, the first unofficial first appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. Then we have Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #1. This is the Blue Galactus variant, newsstand variant, 9.4. And the most important one, Ultimate Fallout 4, first Miles Morales, first print, 9.4. Again, not going to complain considering I spent a grand total of $10. And those are the 4 books. So I want to thank those of you who stuck around and listened to my rant. Let me know in the comments section whether you agree or disagree with the things I said. I would love to get a dialogue going, because communication is key. And these days, people are so afraid to speak their mind. I have been doing that for the longest time. And sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So there's a right way to end up disagreeing with somebody without name-calling, without physical fights, without trying to wish hurt, death, or cancellation on somebody. People got to get back the ability to communicate. Because if you watch my videos, you'll see there are times I'll go on these rants, but I'll speak in a way that's not insulting to people. It's common sense. And we need to learn how to speak with each other again. Otherwise, what's the purpose? The way that the world is going now is just disgusting and sad. But anything that changes can be changed once again. So don't let the world discourage you. I know things are quite interesting these days, but you know, it's darkest before dawn. So the sun will rise again. So let me read a couple of comments just in case. John did say, yes, it's the first appearance of Hercules, which is what I thought it was. So that is a bad job on PGX's point for not putting that in to the description. So like I said, because I don't get paid by them, I don't have a contract. Many people that have all these sponsorships on their channels, and I can't speak for everybody, but the majority of them have to sign a contract if they're going to get paid. And that means they are obligated to say positive things or try and word negative as positive as possible. I will speak my mind. Now, that 2.0 that became a 4.0, I was just wrong in the grading because I'm looking at it and it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and the pressing dramatically helped it because it had a lot of wrinkles in it, but they were non-color breaking creases. So I wasn't sure how much of that can get out, and the split was actually just 2 inches of the front cover. For some reason, I must have thought it was the entire thing. So that's my mistake. So that's not PGX. That's me getting it wrong. That happens. But overall, I'm very happy with this. And this is why I do this live. And I hope the few of you that watch appreciate it. And the fact of 22 people watching, 20 of you hit the like button. And Cubeball was kind enough to do that super chat, which is really nice of you. Shows that many people agree with what I say. And if you keep supporting any business with your money, it doesn't matter what you complain about, doesn't matter what upsets you, doesn't matter what picket signs you hold up high in the air. They care about the money. If they're getting the money, that means they're going to say, well, we're getting the money, so they must like it. So don't sit there with somebody punching you in the face, holding up a sign saying this is unfair. That ain't going to do nothing to stop it. Now, you don't hit back, but you can get out of the way. You could prevent it, or you could block it. Standing there saying, oh, this is so unfair, I don't like this, I'm holding up a picket sign saying this shouldn't stop, well, that's not going to change anything. You want to change things, you got to use your pocketbook. Which means if you don't like these TV shows and you don't like the direction they're going, don't give them your money. That may mean you have to sacrifice watching a TV show you might like, or a movie you wanted to see. Sometimes, though, to make things right, you have to make sacrifices. If you're not willing to make a sacrifice, you're never going to get what you want. There's got to be a little give and take. So you have to pick your poison. You have to pick your battles. But if you think a battle is worth doing, do it the right way. Throughout history, for the past thousands of years, we've been trying to make peace by creating war and hurting people and taking other people's rights for protection. It ain't working. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's time to do things different. If you don't like the way a bank treats you, take your money out of the bank. You don't like the way your phone company is treating you, go to another phone company. You don't like the way a movie industry is making movies, don't go to the movie theater. You don't like how a TV program is having some social agenda that you don't like, don't go and subscribe to them. You don't like the way sports athletes are bending their knee and disgracing the American flag or your own country's flag, don't go to the game. I loved baseball. I was a huge Yankee fan. I used to go to Yankee games when they were in last place back in the 80s, when they had trades like Eric Plunk and Louis Polonia. I mean, I'm going back, and most people wouldn't even know who those names are because they're not that important. I hate the fact of what sports is doing. I don't watch football anymore. I don't watch the Super Bowl anymore. Why would I want to give my time and energy and effort and money to people who think we're disgusting because we have a different point of view? The world's got to change, and if you want to change it, you can't fight fire with fire. You got to use your pocketbook, you got to use your wallet, and you got to stop giving your money to people and places that are doing things that you don't like because you're afraid to lose out on ad revenue. And that's why this channel will never have 1 million subscribers, will never have 1 million views, and will never have a video that goes viral, because I am not going to say what you want to hear to create an agenda so I can cash in on lying to people. I'm going to say what I feel. Now, you may disagree with it, You may think alternate points of view, but I guarantee you, even the people who disagree with me will respect the way I talk about it, because I'm not here pointing a finger saying you're bad or you're evil or you're wrong or you should be hurt or you should be fired or you should be killed. I'm saying this is my opinion. You can resonate with it or not, but there has to be a better way to solve problems. Otherwise, what are we teaching the next generation to do? And you wonder why there's nothing but riots and crybabies all around the world now, screaming injustices of the most ridiculous things and just having liberties of taking away people's freedoms, and we just sit there and take it. They want you to have civil war. They want you to fight, because that's how you take more freedoms away. They want you to go and complain and hold up picket signs, because that creates zero change. I mean, look at what the Canadian government did to Canadians, and they had that rally for a couple of months. And what did that end up doing? Nothing. Other than people getting arrested, people spending time outdoors freezing. It might have brought some unity, but it definitely brought some awakening. But in the end, did it solve anything? It didn't change anything. If you want to make change, stop giving this the currency, and you will change the world. Without pulling a trigger, without starting a fire, without hurting a fellow human being. Because whether you agree with what I say, or like what I say, or even like me, I do not wish you harm. I do not wish you evil. I wish you nothing but love and happiness and peace. And that's how we solve the problems of the world. And this is why a comic book channel like this has very few people, but the few people who watch appreciate. Because I guarantee you, there is no other comic book channel that will ever touch the conversations I am having with you right now. Because they don't want to damage their ability to make money. This is hurting my ability to make money. But I don't give a damn. And I could use a winning lottery ticket. I would love to get back into buying comics again and being able to show them to you guys. It hurts me that I can't. But my integrity means more to me, and my principles that I stand upon mean more to me than a couple of dollars in my bank account from some greedy corporation that's going to profit 1,000,000 times over by using me as a prop. They ain't getting me. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank the people that commented. Thank you so much, Q-Ball, for those 2 super chats. That was really nice of you. Thank you to Daniel Patterson over at PGX for technically sponsoring this. I don't get paid, but I do get my 4 comics graded for free. They do the pressings and dry cleanings and add the grader's notes. No other company was willing to do that. They've been doing it every month for 4 years now. I thank them so much. I love the fact they're allowing me to do this. So please, give PGX a try. Don't go based on what you hear. Don't go based on other people's experiences. That's why I do this live, so you could see for yourself and make your own judgment. In the 4 years that I've been doing this every single month, yeah, there's been a couple of comics that weren't graded right. Yeah, there were a couple of mistakes, but they arrive early. They arrive safe. They arrive with no cracks. I've never had a crack case. And like I said, I dropped these, not on purpose, but I put them like about this high off the ground on one of my comic boxes, and there was some other packages underneath, so it might have tottered and fell over and fell to the ground. No crack. Base things are what you see, not what you hear. So if you want to give PGX a try, go into the description, go and see or just write it down, We Love Comics Free Press. Send in 10 or more books and you'll get one of them pressed for free. Depending on the book, you're saving about $20, $30. That's almost a gallon of gas. So, you know, sometimes you got to find humor. My past year and a half have been interesting to say the least. Challenging to make it more realistic. And we'll just leave it at that. But as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And speaking of which, about a month ago, I almost died on my bed. I think I talked about it, but I won't share the experience after, because what happened afterwards was basically a miracle, but I'm not going to discuss that here. So thank you to the 25 people that liked it. 26 people hit the like button. Love you all. Really appreciate you. Thank you for sticking with me. Please take the time and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about what I talk about. Let me know what you think. Has my channel affected you in any way, whether good or bad? I mean, my old channel I had to shut down because I was getting this unfair reputation from people that were basically jealous of my hard work, and they affected me and almost ruined me. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It made me the person I am today, so I'm very thankful. Because sometimes you never know what a bad situation will make you become. So I have no hate for those who hate me. I have no ill will for those who wished ill will for me. I have no need to hurt anybody that hurt me. Everything happens for a reason. You guys are here. You stuck around. You listened to my rants. And that means the world to me. So please leave a comment and let me know what you think. If it's 5 pages long, I don't care. I will read it. You guys put in the effort. It shows that you appreciate what I do. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. In another probably week, I'm going to have another one of these because they're sending the one from 2 months ago. There was a little bit of a delay, but that's going to be shipped out. Probably not Monday because that's July 4th. So Tuesday. So probably might not be this next week. It might be the week after, or it might be Friday or Saturday, but I'll make the video. Dan says, can you show the top 50 books in a future show? I have a couple of videos where I've already done that, but if you're really interested in doing it, I'll do it. But Dan, if you go to my top 10, my top 30 books, I think I did it either this year or the end of last year, I show my top 30 books. So check that out, but if you guys really want it, I'll do another one again. But I would hate to do the same thing over and over again just to make a video. So Dan, hopefully you'll check that out. And thank you. He says my shelf looks great. This is just some of the run over. You should see some of the big books I have. But I've been collecting since, well, since the 80s. A lot of my books got stolen. A lot of mega key issues got stolen. But I was able to acquire a lot of them back over the years. I got the Hulk 181s. My pride and joy is my Fantastic Four #1. Dan, if you do check it out, leave a comment on it and let me know what you thought. I got some big boy books and some that I'm looking forward to, especially some Golden Age books that are starting to get where I thought they were going. Sometimes it takes time, and like if you see in the stock market and the bitcoins and stuff like that, here's the best advice I can give you when it comes to investing in anything. You only lose money if you sell at a loss. I have a few, not a few bitcoins. I have a few percentages of Bitcoin, of a Bitcoin, and I bought when it was at the highest point. It's gone down about 60%, but I haven't sold them. What goes down can always go back up again. A lot of times they do that because people base investments on emotion, and then they panic because they don't research, they don't become patient, and they do what everybody else does, and that's jump ship. Sometimes you got to take a step back to make 2 steps forward. So I have investments in stocks that have lost money, but technically lost money because I haven't sold them. And they can go back up again. If you look at any investments over a long period of time, there's going to be peaks and valleys. The way to get it is, for the most part, go the opposite of what people are telling you to do. I guarantee you, a lot of the books that I was telling people years ago to get are now telling you to get them now. Well, an Ultimate Fallout 4, when you could buy it for $10, when I was telling people to buy it at $10, 99% of the people laughed at me and didn't buy them. But now, if they see one for $900, there'll be 50 people fighting over it. $10, nobody wants it. When it got popular, and it's $900, $1,000, $10,000 for a 9.8 Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25 variant, blows my mind. There's a reason why they call most people sheep, because they follow the herd. They do what the herd does. And it only takes one shepherd to lead a flock of sheep to their slaughter. So stop following what the masses do and what the popular people do and what's trending. Be a leader. Most people hate people like me because I'm not a follower. I speak my mind. I go against the grain. I'm not afraid to tell it as it is, or at least how I view it. If we had more people like that, this would be a better world. Because you know what I do in my spare time? I'm not trolling the internet trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm not picketing and trying to take away people's rights to have their freedoms, even if I don't agree with them. I spend my day feeding 22 stray cats twice a day for 2 hours each time, making sure I'm there, making sure everybody's getting fed, because no one else gives a damn. That's my legacy. Some people will think it's ridiculous. Some people will be upset about it. I don't do it for anybody's approval or disapproval or opinion. I do it because I feel it's right. And that's how I spend my time. And that's what's gotten me through some very challenging times in the past year to 2 years, is knowing that I'm saving the lives of other living creatures. And if you're any kind of religious person, that should be a good thing. We need more of that. All right, end of rant. This is more about a rant than comics. I don't know why you people are still here, but I love the fact that you are. Mighty Comics and Collectibles is here just in time for me to say goodbye. Good time of that. Go check out his video, because I don't comment very often these days, but every time he does the top 10 comics, I watch him. He does a very good opinion on that. But I will say, Mighty Comics, I do disagree about what you say about newsstand variants, and I actually talk about this probably about 3 hours ago. So I'm sure you might not see it or you might miss it. But we have a different point of view on newsstands. I think high-grade newsstands are the ones to get, because they're much harder to get. But there is a value. And you go by what people want. The masses want certain things, whether they believe in them or not. Most people get them because everybody else wants them. That's why nobody wanted this Ultimate Fallout 4 when I paid $10 for it. But I guarantee you, if I said this is for sale right now, no one would be saying I'll give you $10 for it. They could, but I wouldn't accept it. I guarantee you, if I said right now, make me an offer on this, it'll probably start at least a minimum, even though it's a 9.4 PGX, I guarantee it started at least $600-700. Let's say $500. Let's say on the low end. $500 for this book. I wouldn't sell it for $500 because he's going to get a live action film. But I spent $10 when nobody wanted it, and now I could sell it for $500 minimum. I think I did pretty good. So, and yeah, Mighty Comics and Collectible, he's a great guy, and that's what I mean. Sometimes you can have differences of opinions. Doesn't make them bad, doesn't make them wrong. Just means we have different levels of what we think is more important or less important when it comes to certain things with collecting. And that's what it should be about. Oh, look at that. Dan says, I'll give you $20, double my money. You, sir. You. Very nice. If you have a time machine and we go back to 2016, I'll take your $20 offer. So, guaranteed sold at $20 if you can go back in time and speak to me the day after I bought them for $10. I'll sell it to you. So, stop following the herd. Stop doing what the masses do. Stop doing what's trending. Don't base your life on emotion, because remember, emotion is nothing more than energy in motion. In other words, you use your energy, your emotion to create the reality that's in front of you. Believe me, I know, both good and bad. So you might as well use it for the first. And yeah, Dan, I know you're kidding. That's all good. I appreciate senses of humor. So go get some comics. Go have some fun. Don't worry about the bad times, because as they say, this too shall pass. And that's why, yeah, I've been going through a drought for the past year or so. Who knows where it's going to lead me? I'm excited to see where the future's going to take me, knowing that I did not sell out. I did not try and hurt others for financial gain, and I stayed the same, even though I probably have a much whiter and much longer beard than I was 5 years ago. Proof is in the pudding. Check out my videos. Thank you for watching. Much love to you all. I really appreciate people sticking around. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about the books and my rants. Let's hear your opinions, even if you differ. You don't have to agree, but do it civilly. And that's how we create a dialogue, and that's how we grow and become better human beings. Because whether you're black, white, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat, Asian, whatever, whether you believe in abortion or not abortion, whether you believe in God or no God, we're all human beings. Let's treat each other like it, and then we'll get to a better place. You all have a wonderful day. Have a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. Please do not do anything destructive to others. And remember, many people have pets, so be considerate when you're using your fireworks, because you never know what damage you can do to other living creatures that have just as much right to live as you do. Have a great night. I'll see you next video.